Alan Brazil, Alan McCoist, live from Paris, the Radisson Blue. It's a monumental night for the Arsenal this evening. They travel to Paris in the second leg of the Champions League semi-final. Just moments ago, talkSPORT Shabana Hearn was outside of King's Cross, St Pancras, caught up with some Arsenal fans boarding the Eurostar to beautiful Paris.
Graham, good to have you with us here on talkSPORT. How's the initial feeling?
Yeah, a bit nervous, but excited as well. Trip to Paris in the semi-finals, you can't knock it just to get this far. Hopefully the boys will do the job tonight.
What do you think they need to do, and is it just a different side with Partey being available tonight?
I think it makes a massive difference. We definitely missed him in the first leg because Rice had to play in a much more restricted role, and I think it's a big player for us when he can get up and down the pitch.
Do you feel there's pressure now on Mikel Arteta going into this game tonight?
No, he's turned the club round unbelievably. I think realistically, if you asked any Arsenal fan, if you're 3 points ahead of City in a Champions League semi-final with 3 weeks to go of the season, would have bitten your armour for everything in the season.
For me, the Gunners on a good day can upset anyone. They can beat anyone. We saw what they did in Portugal against Lisbon, what they did in Holland against Feyenoord. So PSG should not just take it like a bed of roses. It's going to be a firework tonight. I'm surely confident that Arsenal are going to meet Inter Milan in Munich with the finals. That's my verdict.
Do you know what, isn't it great? You just jump on the train straight into the heart of Paris. Absolutely, Gare du Nord, fantastic. Okay,
what
it's time.
it's
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's time to say good morning to former Arsenal midfielder who won the Premier League and the FA Cup, a World Cup winner as well. Manny Petit joins us live in Paris alongside Ali. Manny, very good morning to you.
Good morning. Bonjour tout le monde.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hopefully you've had a croissant because McCoist was in a big plate in front of him. But
and a pain au chocolat.
Oui.
So a quick one.
Nous mangeons le croissant et le fruit.
Oh, shut up. Cronenberg still will play. Manny, what about tonight? We know PSG favourites, but have Arsenal got to score first? Have they got to get the first goal?
Well, if they concede the first goal, that would be very difficult, with the pressure from the ground, and it would be electric tonight. And, Paris Saint-Germain at home are undefeated. It's very difficult, for the opponent, to come and score goals and to win the game. So, obviously, it's only 1-0, going back. So, it's not a big task as well. But the way they play, the confidence they show, the composure as well. I think we need to see the real face from Arsenal tonight.
Yeah.
Was very disappointing last weekend. That's why I think today I think they owe us, kind of revenge,
Yeah.
It's a funny one. I'm just going to ask Manny because I've been fortunate enough to be here in the stadium for the Liverpool game, and I know Liverpool won the game, but I thought PSG were fantastic.
Yeah.
Alisson, the goalkeeper, had one of those nights where he was unbelievable. So Paris totally dominated the ball and dominated the game. I felt they did the same against Aston Villa. Manny, I thought, they dominated possession.
That's the key of the game.
Well, that was going to be my question to you. Do you think the midfield is a key area of the game tonight?
You need to, to cut off, this team. I think I remember what Declan Rice said after 15 minutes. Just before conceded the goal. He was screaming at his teammates, saying that guys, we need to get the possession of the ball. We're playing at home, and this is exactly what Paris Saint-Germain hate. If you take the ball from them. If you get the possession of the ball, you can impulse, a kind of rhythm into the game. That will be probably one of the biggest key, to win the game.
It's going to be difficult because I look at the midfield, Ruiz, Vitinha, Neves, and I think the difference when Real Madrid, for example, I think Bellingham would run from the middle of the park and make runs into the box. The three of them, they do get forward, of course they get forward, but they spend a lot of time just in the middle of the park, switching positions and keeping the ball.
This is, I think, the midfield players. I think that this team is very well balanced. From the keeper until the striker. I think that they have quality everywhere, But for me, the most important, if you can control the midfield players, I know that on the side with right defenders and the left defender as well. I think it's very important in their game. But the midfield players, they control the game, they control the rhythm, and they control technically, you know, the opponent all the time. So if you can beat them, you know, in this area, that would be very important for Arsenal.
I think they have to. There's no doubt about it, Ali.
Yeah,
because last night when Barcelona got back in it, they controlled the midfield. But unfortunately, they gave goals away and just couldn't put Inter to bed. But there was times in the game where Barcelona and midfield were fantastic.
Yeah, but at the end they lost.
Yeah.
How
important? Talking about that midfield area. And I agree with you. I think that is the key area. I also think interesting battles will be the two PSG fullbacks.
Yes.
Who I think might be the two best fullbacks.
Hakimi and Mendes.
Hakimi and Mendes might be the best fullbacks. But from Arsenal's point of view, vitally important that Thomas Partey comes back into the team.
I think it's very important because of Declan Rice's position, and as well, you know, the link between Rice and Odegaard, you know, up front. I think we all know that how powerful, you know, Declan Rice can be, you know, when he plays up front, you know, especially in the second balls. But he can deliver, you know, high pressure, you know, in the last third of the game, you know, and I think. He has the possibility as well to create, you know, chances, you know, with a beautiful pass, but as well with the strike, you know, he's powerful. So he's going to change a lot of things, and I think the team will be more balanced. But the key for me is that it's very important that Partey is back into the game tonight. But for me, Arsenal has to be perfect tonight. It's not because of Partey, it's the whole team, you know, because I was very disappointing starting from Odegaard, for example.
Yeah.
And he has to be more creative, you know, to be more decisive, you know, in the last third of the game. But Partey, you know, it's something very important. But this is because Declan Rice will be in different position.
It frees him up, and Saka as well has got to do a little bit. You know, he's got to try and get the better of the fullback. But you're right, they're two great footballing fullbacks, getting forward and defending. Ali, you're dead right. The PSG have. So Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta believes the time is now for Arsenal to win a trophy, and that begins tonight in Paris.
Winning trophies as well is about being in the right moment, in the right place. Liverpool has won the title with less points than we have in the last 2 seasons. With the points of the last 2 seasons, we have 2 Premier Leagues. So you have to be in the right moment, in the right place, you know. Hopefully here we are in the right moment, in the right place in Paris tomorrow to earn the right to be in that final.
Semi-finals have not been good for Arsenal. Recently in goals in the last 6 semis, conceding 6. So, Manny, he's got to get his. It's not just the players. The players, of course, have to perform, Manny. But from Mikel's point of view, he has to get the spot in his team selection and his pattern of play. He has to.
Of course, I think that's very important, you know, to send a strong messages, you know, to the players, but as well to the fans, to the club. I think for them to reach the next steps, you know. I think the last 2-3 years, I think we have been very frustrated because they were fighting for the Premier League against Manchester City and Liverpool, and then they fall up for different reasons. I know that they have excuses, but I think at the end of the day, you need to fight until the end. And I'm starting, you know, to get more and more frustrated about that because you have the feeling that they can reach, you know, the target, and all of a sudden they fall and they don't compete anymore. So I know that. The history of Arsenal in the Champions League is not that great. We didn't win anything at all in the history in the Champions League. We failed every time in the semi-final. But I think this is the time. I think Paris Saint-Germain looks very strong, but I think they are not unbeatable. And I think if they can show, you know, composure, a great personality and character, you know, all together, that's why I said before, Partey is very important to be back in the team, but I think this is the whole team that has to produce tonight.
Yeah. Talk about the whole team, Manny. I'm just going to say, I still believe, and I've been going on about it for a long, long time. I still think Arsenal need an out-and-out centre forward, right? I just definitely, I really think that. But my question to you would be, in terms of that number 9 or false 9, whatever you want to call it. I think Mourinho has done a good job in there, and I would probably go ahead. I'd go with Mourinho before Trossard. How about you?
Tonight, definitely. Yeah. I think so too. I think in terms of movement, I think I like Trossard.
Me too.
I think he can do a good job up front, different positions. But I think Mourinho brings something different in terms of movement. The links, technical movement and skills as well. The understanding of the game as well with Odegaard and Rice. I think it's a little bit different. But I think they have so many things to do within the next transfer market.
Yeah.
Striker is the main position.
Essential.
But I think when you look at the bench, because as soon as they get 3 or 4 players injured, it's not the same team anymore, and they don't have, the power to make a turnover into the team. And mentally and physically, especially at the end of the season, this is very important. I looked yesterday inside the Milan. Inzaghi, he did 5 substitutions, and it changed the game.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden,
it's amazing. You're right. Calhanoglu off and Mkhitaryan off, and he brings Fratesi, who ends up getting the winning goal. That's amazing. You talk about that strength and depth. It's absolutely vital. Getting back to a quick one on PSG, it's remarkable the kind of turnaround. I know that they won the league a few weeks ago, and they've had a couple of defeats. I think Nice beat them. Maybe was it Strasbourg? I know, but we're not looking into that because their focus is clearly on. But early on in the campaign, Manny, tell me, because going into the last couple of games in the knockout kind of group, the league group, it was touch and go whether they were making it. What's the change?
What, with Arsenal?
No, with PSG.
PSG, I think the change recently, I think it changed starting from January, I think. It was very difficult to understand exactly what Luis Enrique was doing, with the team, tactically, as well with the first 11. He was changing every single game, position of some players, different first 11, and we didn't get it. He was fighting all the time in the press conference. He was kind of arrogant sometimes, as well aggressive with the press people, and it was like just explain to us what you want to do, and he was always repeating the same thing. You will see what I'm going to do right now. You will see in the future that it will work. And all of a sudden, something changed. And if he find his first 11, it changed. The first point he did, very important, was changing the position of Dembele from the right winger to the central position. And it changed everything into the game. And in midfield, Mendes, Vitinha, those guys, they were looking sometimes really poor, in terms of commitment.
Yes.
When big games come, and all of a sudden they find the right rhythm all together, and it transformed everything. So now when you look at the Paris Saint-Germain since January, they have always the same first 11 in the big games. It never changed at all. Never changed the position of the players. It always stick with the same thing.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.